This is fight number 10, all thanks to Punch Equipment. Let's meet our blue corner. He weighed in at 66.2 kilos. His fight record, 5 wins from 8 fights. He trains at the Hybrid MMA gym on the Gold Coast. Ladies and gentlemen, Marko Slomovic. In our red corner, weighing in at 65.4 kilos. His fight record, 8 fights and 4 victories. Training under David Garnham, he fights out of Mackay MMA, Justin Van Heerden.
Well, this looks like a good matchup on paper. 5 wins from 8 fights and 4 wins from 8 fights. Evenly matched, they look similar size. What do we know about these guys?
I'm digging Justin's Super Mario tattoo that he's got dominating most of his right arm.
He does.
We'll get a glimpse of it in a second. I've managed to train with Marko Slomovic a few times, a fantastic striker. He's got a very storied striking career as well. He's got some ridiculous number of wins by head kick KO. So if he throws a head kick at some point in this fight, expect it to land. Hey, Justin making a smart choice there not to stand and strike with him. He must have caught a glimpse of the KO record of Marko.
Judging by Marko's stance, I'm assuming he's got a karate or a taekwondo background.
Oh, mate, you name it. Justin really, really working here, using that body lock. He's got his head underneath, not utilising the head control on Marko here. He needs to get that forward up and into the jaw like we stated earlier.
That's right. Again, coming for the hook on that leg. Trying to see like he's going to pull him away from the cage, maybe dump him in the centre.
Marko's managed to slip in a bit of an underhook there, but too little, too late.
Come on, Justin!
Again, on the bottom here, he's going for an overhook of that arm, just to control one thing, punches, and two, hopefully getting out to the side that he can come out and attack that arm for an armbar. Can utilise the cage here, pushing off it to help him crawl more and move his hips.
Good point.
Maybe even his hips and not his pips. He's got a high crotch here, so it's very good. If you can get that leg over the head, it's going to be a very deep arm attack.
So Justin's a little bit clued in. He's trying to negate the hips of Marko, and he's
switching out now, holding his arm, moving to the triangle. As you can see, no, unsuccessful.
Justin uses it to pass.
Well, the atmosphere building up here nicely at Mansfield Tavern as we get towards the pro fights. The last of the amateur fights before we move on to the pro fights, and the crowd, you can hear them starting to get into it.
Yeah, Justin's brought some fans with him. A bit of disconnection there. He got up to strike, but in doing so, he lost a lot of that connection. And Marko was able to slip his hips out.
That's the problem. If you want to get a good strike... Oh, we got an armbar attempt here. You've got to watch getting dumped on his head. He's grabbing onto the cage here. The ref needs to check this out.
Oof. It was very dangerous too, because the very, very long limbs of Marko are going to pay off in a position like that. If that was a shorter man, there almost wouldn't have been an armbar there.
He's setting up an omoplata here. No, he's lost it. Okay, going to the back.
Yeah.
Probably a better position here, mate.
Oh.
Very good way for Justin to end the round there, and a very dominant position to level up.
Both fighters looking very composed here. Both looking very conditioned.
Yeah, very good round for Justin. He managed to have a very dominant round without exuding a lot of energy. He'll come into this second round, 1 round up and a lot fresher. The work load was definitely on Marko in that first round, trying to escape and get get into a position.
Definitely. Taking another fighter's weight on top of you that whole time is not a good thing for your energy system.
Justin did a good job of closing the gap, and obviously with Marko with his knockout abilities,
Insane range.
yeah, an insane range. He's obviously so taking that opportunity to get straight back in on him and negate those kicks and ridiculously long strikes. They're
Down again.
They don't look that dissimilar height. But when they start striking, Marko looks so much longer. His punches are so long, and he looks like he can fight at such a further distance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a wingspan on him that
Yeah, it's like an albatross.
yeah, that's weight in itself. Justin will look a little bit thicker than him, but long legs, long arms, they got to weigh something.
Marko's actually got a really good active guard from the close guard. I'm interested to see how they'd fare if they were in closer into the centre of the cage rather than being pushed up against it. Again, opting for that armbar attempt. Coming back to controlling the close guard. Good retention there. What he wants to do is control the posture. As we mentioned before, to have effective strikes, you want to disconnect, bring the shoulders away from your opponent so you can rain down punches. Unfortunately, he's in a close guard here, so what Marko's trying to do is hold his head down. If he can hold his head down, he can start to attack his arms, move for triangles as he goes for wrist control, and mitigate any attempts of punches.
And Marko fending him off. That's all he really can do here. If he doesn't and decides to get up, you might eat a knee from Justin. He might eat a hard uppercut or a hard strike from Justin. So he's really got to pick his moment.
That's the caveat there, isn't it?
Yeah. Pick your poison almost. And he elects to not try to stand up, but Justin capitalises and gets on top of him in an advantageous position. Oh, right in front of us here. Hello. We are watching someone get their head punched in. Marko good though. Marko's good to get his hips around. He inverted for a second there. Showing some some crafty ringsmanship.
It's definitely showing some ring.
Yeah.
I'm going for the triangle submission here. You can't see because it's blocked out by the cage, but
It looks
Marko's got a triangle on.
Justin seems to think that he's going for it. He's grabbing the foot.
30
You mentioned
seconds.
before.
His leg down there. He's got this.
Yep.
Oh,
He's on a
tightened it up.
great angle for this right now. It's an absolutely fantastic angle. If you can underhook that leg,
Yeah, that foot just seems to be slipping out. It's not across the ankle like you mentioned before. He needed to grab the actual shin bone when he was grabbing the foot, which it's got a lot of give and flexibility.
the thing is that he's on a lateral angle with the triangle here. He's not using his adductors to crush the carotid artery. What he's doing is using the strong muscles of the hamstring and the quad to make the pressure here now, which is a far superior triangle position for leverage.
Whoa! Saved by the bell,
20
literally.
seconds there might have been interesting.
As with the last fight, gentlemen, I'm so impressed with the striking. This time, I'm loving the ground game. I'm not seeing stalemates of people trying to hold or pretty much playing the safe game. Well, Marko's on the bottom, going inverted, attacking the whole time. The thing is with attacking, it's taking away Van Heerden's attempts. If he's on the back with defending submission attempts, he's not striking. So Marko's doing a really good thing here.
Marko's showing too. We talked about how he's an avid striker and he's very proven in his striking ability and his wins, but he's also throwing some stuff out there, throwing some triangles and armbar and stuff like that. Justin needs to mind his P's and Q's.
Always fear the lanky man in the submission game.
Justin has done a great job of closing that gap, though. I mean, that's the one thing he has done. He's negated that long range of Marko, and he'll be looking to do that again. I
Great
presume.
strategy, actually. Mutual respect shown from both fighters here.
And there's that high kick. Oh, and another one.
Beautiful rolling of the hip on that kick there, putting more torque into it. That's the dangerous kicks there. The more the fighter can roll his hip into the kick, the more the shin is going to have more power as it connects onto the head, hopefully. Beautiful cheek.
Overhand right from Slomovic that it just manages to whiff by. Oi, getting fancy.
Capoeira. Oh,
That kick
they're
almost
coming
cleared
back.
half the cage.
Almost took a light out that one, didn't it?
Flash dance tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful takedown. Great timing going there for the leg and rib control there. Getting back to the same position we've seen in the last 2 rounds. You notice Justin's using the forearm on the throat there. He was using that in the last 2 rounds too from this position. Wants to frustrate Marko from there so he can't effectively think about what he wants to do. The other thing is he's pushing there, limiting his ability to swivel his hips. He's got to be careful that he doesn't stand up too high with the push on the throat. Because the more he raises his hips, the more Marko will be able to get under because his arm will be straight.
Very good point there. For these strikes as well that Justin's throwing, if he's got that forearm under his chin and keeping his head there, he knows exactly where his head is.
Yep, and that chin's up.
Oh, good old-fashioned can opener there for a second. Pulling on the head, but Marko using it to set up an armbar. Often used counter. And Justin adapts again.
The boys taking it right over there by our promoter, who's looking quizzically down at his paper. Cam O'Neill put together another great card here.
This is great. This position's not really a great one for the casual fan at the moment, but
depends what you're into.
That's definitely true.
The pro fights, when we see a lot of these ankle locks and heel hooks and things like that, that's an incredibly dangerous position.
Definitely.
But in this B-class fight, they're going to have to assess this situation and find an out, which leads them into a position where they can still do a lot of damage. But for Marko, he's got to get out, putting it plainly. Nothing good is going to come from Marko being on his back here. It's in a very, very deep, short side control that Justin's given him. Justin looking like he's trying to pin that arm.
He does. He wants to go for that crucifix position where he can isolate Marko's arms and then be able to rain elbows down on him. As so. Marko trying to use the cage here to flip over. Don't know how effective it's going to be.
If he's going to go, he needs to go right now.
That's it. But he's putting a lot of pressure on his neck.
It was an interesting fight, guys. It's Justin closing the gap there and negating Marko's striking ability and turning it into a fight on the floor. Yeah. So he's achieved his first objective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether that's enough to take the fight out, go to you, Cristiano. What do you think, mate?
Very hard to call.
This is hard.
I would go for say Justin because the times they're on the ground, Justin got them to the ground.
Yes.
So in the judges' eyes, he's probably dictating the majority of the fight. He was able to escape most of the sub-attacks. Again, Marko's sub-attacks came off strikes and they came off transitions. So they weren't necessarily set up as the aggressor. So if you want to score this on the aggressor and the initiator, I'll definitely go for Justin.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement there. All the positions that Marko found himself in, he was surviving a lot of the time. He wasn't able to escape. He did it very well not to get finished in the fight, but they were most definitely positions there. Were not advantageous, and he did not want to be there.
Very impressive off the back. I was actually really great to see that.
As we go up to Dave Aller for the decision here.
Well, after 3 rounds of MMA action, we head to the judges' scorecards. All 3 of our judges score the fight 30 points to 27. It's a unanimous win for our red corner, Justin Van Heerden.
And the judges share our sentiments there.
Called it there, Cristiano. You earned your match fee right there, mate.
No, you earned a pay raise.
I'll get that cheeseburger at Macca's on the way home.
Minimum wage now, mate.